Another season of weak holiday sales for Macy's, Kohl's, and Sears exposes the deep difficulties these department stores are having adapting to the shift to online shopping. Macy's now says it will slash more than 10,000 jobs and close dozens of stores. Sears says it's closing 150. Joining us to discuss is WSJ reporter Suzanne Kapner. Welcome, Suzanne. Good to see you.
Hi,
so how bad was this holiday season for Macy's and Sears?
Well, you know, the surprising thing is that overall analysts had been forecasting a pretty good season. You know, there's some optimism out there following the election, gas prices still low, employment rising, a lot of good macro factors helping consumers to spend. But department stores in particular, you know, they've been struggling for decades and their problems have worsened, you know, in the last 10 years or so. And they are just really having a hard time, you know, figuring out the shift from brick and mortar to online. And, you know, you're really seeing it in the numbers. And they're no longer these like central fixtures in American shopping that they once were.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Macy's quickly because shuttering dozens of stores, 10,000 jobs gone. CEO Terry Lundgren says he's stepping aside. What is their plan going forward?
Well, they want to, one reason they're closing these stores, they want to use that money to spend more on their digital operations. And they did say over the holidays, online sales were up double digits. That's an area of growth for them. They bought this company, Bluemercury, as a beauty chain, high-end beauty chain. They want to roll that out and expand
That's doing well, right?
That's doing well. And they have a concept called Macy's Backstage, which is like their version of TJ Maxx, a discount chain that they've been actually installing in their department stores. It's one way for them to sort of, you know, draw traffic into these big stores.
Which they need. And because they say brick and mortar will still be a part of their strategy, right? You can't completely erase that.
People do go to stores, you know, they go to research, you want to try something on. They just maybe aren't buying as much at the store. They might visit a store and then buy online. The problem for the retailer is double the cost, same amount of sales.
Sure, exactly. Now, of course, Macy's also owns Bloomingdale's. Was that somewhat of a bright spot?
Bloomingdale's, you know, it's a small chain for them. It's a bit higher end. They're not closing any Bloomingdale's stores. So, you know, they don't quite have the same problems that Macy's does, which is sort of ubiquitous. You know, after their purchase of May Company 11 years ago, they have this like, you know, coast-to-coast footprint. Too many stores. They just have to close a lot of these locations.
And speaking of closing stores, Sears says it's shuttering 150 stores. Must have been a really bad season.
Well, their holiday sales, they say, were down around 12, 13%, which is, you know, they've been declining for years. So it's declines on top of declines. You know, it's hard to really explain just how bad that is for them.
Absolutely. And Kohl's, how did Kohl's fare?
Kohl's also down about 2%. You know, not great either. You know, these chains have been they've had a lot of trouble getting sales into positive territory.
So are there any department stores you can point to who seem to be weathering this shift a little better?
You know, Nordstrom is a bit of a standout there. They're higher end, you know, which helps, and they have been very proactive, buying online companies like Trunk Club and doing sort of creative deals, and they really focus on having exclusive merchandise that you can't get everywhere else. They're not as price sensitive. They don't run as many sales. They have a bit of a different strategy, and that's helped them.
Right. I mean, because obviously this is not a new story. We've been talking about this for a while. Walmart closed 100 stores last year, and now spent what, $3 billion to purchase an online shopping platform. How is Walmart doing?
You know, we'll see in a couple of weeks. They haven't reported yet. They, you know, they play in a bit of a different space, much more the value shopper.
Sure.
So, you know, we'll see when they report their numbers.
Absolutely. And who are some of those big competitors out there that are really sort of eating into some of these potential brick and mortar sales?
Well, you know, online is doing phenomenally well. I mean, and the big winner there, of course, is Amazon. You saw MasterCard had numbers that online sales grew 19% over the holidays versus 4% for brick and mortar. So that's really where the sales are going.
And what about those fast fashion, sort of H&M, Zara chains?
You know, they continue to do well. They have, you know, their model works in today's price competitive world. Low prices, you know, speed, lots of newness. That's what they have going for them.
Fashion forward. All right. Well, Suzanne, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.